Hi everyone, welcome to CLG. Today I'll be reviewing Against the Storm. What is Against the Storm? The Steam description reads, a dark fantasy city builder where you must rebuild civilization in the face of apocalyptic rains. As the Queen's Viceroy, lead humans, beavers, lizards and harpies to reclaim the wilderness and secure a future for civilization's last survivors. The game plays as a base building survival sim. It came to early access on Steam and GOG in November and it has excellent user reviews. So let's get to it. The main menu is pretty lean, with just 3 main options: play, settings and quit. And it's complemented with minor ones like different player profiles, the game's Discord server, news and a roadmap since the game's still on early access. I had an issue with the placement of the main options because even though they are huge icons, for some reason they are not where my brain expects them to be. Not sure if it's an issue per se, or if I have burned my brain between Stellaris and Battle Brothers. Settings wise it is solid for what I expect. A few graphic options, toggling of effects, UI scaling. I really like the option to not just toggle VSync but the ability to set it to full or half of the monitor's refresh rate, as well as a frame rate limiter if you have VSync off. I'm not a fan of cranking up my FPS, anything above a certain number is wasted electricity and stress to my computer, so I really like these options. Continuing on to Alerts tab, we can toggle on and off various message alerts regarding our colony, which is something I could see if I was more experienced in the game. And last but not least, we have the ability to use custom key bindings. All these in my book make for solid options. Moving on. Hitting play for the first time, you will get to play 2 tutorial stages, which will walk you through the very basics of the game. And if you missed it, you can always replay it, which is cool. The tutorial is also skippable if you feel you don't want a machine telling you what to do. I do recommend it though. You can replay it whenever you feel like it. Looking pretty solid so far. The premise is that the world is ravaged by dangerous blight storms every few decades, and while playing it, it gives some hints about otherworldly forces being tied to those storms as well. The only safe place during the storms is the smoldering city. Your role as the Queen's Viceroy is to erect colonies and help rebuild the smoldering city. For this type of game, it looks like a decent background. For the actual game, you are given a map and you are tasked to erect colonies so you can rebuild the smoldering city, as I said. For each colony, you will have to manage a different set of resources, so you will have to adapt to your playthrough. There is no tech tree in this game. You get to pick from a random set of buildings at first, and as you progress, you get more rewards like these. You also get handed a few villagers of various races, and you assign them to do the various tasks that you need to do in order to sustain and grow your colony. The more you grow and the more you disrupt nature, the forest becomes gradually more hostile to you, making the villagers more scared, thus more likely to leave the colony. There are in-game years, which are comprised of 3 seasons: drizzle, clearance, and storm. The forest hostility really comes about during the stormy season, bringing you various debuffs where if you haven't made proper management during the year, the villagers will start leaving or dying. With each villager you lose, the Queen's impatience grows, which puts your managerial position one step closer to the chopping block. During your colony management, the Queen will issue a few orders, quests, where if you fulfill them, your reputation will grow, and the Queen will give you a bit more time to do your job. Neglect them and she won't be happy. The other, more difficult way to get a reputation is to keep your villagers very happy, which for some reason I can rarely do. Why? I don't think it has anything to do, it's a mystery. After you finish your quest with your colony, you move on to the next one, and you're awarded some tokens which you can use to unlock upgrades for the smoldering city, which in turn will give you various bonuses for your future colonies. The token rewards scale with the difficulty you're playing. There are various difficulties which increase the forest's hostility, the number of debuffs you can get, and add other game mechanics as well, namely corruption and blight rot. Corruption is something that you may benefit from, but if you let the corruption run rampant, it will cost you your villagers' lives and the Queen's patience. The game plays as a chill city builder that doesn't take several days for a colony. You can play one colony and you're done, which takes more or less about an hour or 2. The game will keep you active with the choices that you have to make on its playthrough without being a huge time investment. The main con would be that after a couple of colonies, my interest in the game diminished sharply for the day, but it does have replay value. The music in the game fits the theme very well and gives character to the game, enhancing the theme of surviving against the storm and its terrors. Although most of the time it is blending in the background only to really come forth during the stormy seasons. I would like the soundtrack to be a little more in the front. The game does not have a native Linux port, but compatibility using Wine or Proton is excellent. I encountered no issues for the current version. I got this game from GOG, which needs a few extra steps compared to Steam, where on Steam it will just work with Proton. To manage my non-Steam games, I generally use Heroic Games Launcher, since it makes installing Windows games that much easier also. We need to pick an install location, the Wine prefix location, and the Wine version, which in this case I used Wine GE 7.34. After the game has finished installing, we make sure the DXVK libraries are enabled, and then we can hit the play button. After the first time setup, it will start up. It's a few more steps than the Steam version, but overall easily doable. The game is fairly priced for what it offers at about €20. It's one of those gems that are early access, but they don't feel like it. I am excited on what they're going to be adding in the future. The game, even though it's early access and has some rough edges, is overall in a good shape. The game rewards being adaptable and it keeps your interest. The fast playthroughs can be a deal maker or deal breaker depending on your preferences. And the music, even though it fits the theme very well, is often lost in the background. Things do get tweaked and added with each patch, and it seems that development is still in the early stages even though it does not feel like it. So it shows a lot of promise for growth, and I'll be eagerly waiting to see what gets added in the future and re-review it for its full release. In its current state, I wouldn't say it's for everybody just yet, but I would definitely recommend it for fans of city building, management and survival genres, and if you like the city building aspect of strategy games but not the combat, this is the game you must try definitely, or if you're looking for something new. This is CLG and I definitely approve of this game. If you like the video, click like, subscribe and all that, it will help the channel grow. Thank you very much for watching, don't forget to have fun.